Can y'all see me? Can y'all even see what's going on? Haha. Peace. We're on to the jewels. Peace, y'all. Joyful Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Damn, it's Wednesday. That's exactly why the couch is off-white. Soon to be absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning, darling. Absolutely stunning. What's going on with everybody out there in the world? How are you today? Peace and love to you. I'm painting. Getting my couch painted more. These look like gems to me, so I made them emeralds. Why does it seem like I'm so zoomed in? Is there like a zoom out button? I feel like I'm like right on top of the freaking camera. I don't know why it's so zoomed in on me, but hey, how's it going? That is not the shape I wanted. That's okay. It doesn't really matter. Why are you crying? What's the crying for, sir? Huh? You obviously want something. What do you want, darling? Do you want to go outside? Is that a no or yes? You just looked at me. These were supposed to be like pointed on top and bottom, but it didn't. They ended up being teardrops in a lot of them, so that's okay. I guess we're gonna end up with teardrop ones instead, right? Did y'all see all that freaking fog? That was like strange, huh? Strange fog this morning. I saw somebody posted that they saw a bunch of planes spraying stuff yesterday. And then there was that fog, smog, whatever that thick ass shit in the sky was. And I just find it funny how those two things seem to correlate. Now, I didn't see those planes myself. I have seen plenty of them in my time. Therefore, I do know they exist. I have actually recorded with my own cellular device planes spraying spray from them. And you can see it coming out. Like, you can see it spraying. So, yeah. you might be able to convince somebody else that type of shit doesn't exist, but you cannot convince people who see it with their own eyes. Also, when you know, like, that's the thing. Like, there's so much shit going on out here in the world, and they just want to have all this illusion, you know? Have people thinking that, like, squeaky peanut! It doesn't squeak. It used to. It's the unsqueaking peanut now. Do you want me to throw it? Okay. Unsqueaky peanut. So much illusion and distraction that they have going on, you know? They just want to take your attention in so many different places when, you know, in reality, when you look at just everyday life, they have people, like, you know, so used to seeing some things, like, for example, fake clouds in the sky, you know? You're so used to seeing that shit that there's people who never saw real clouds. They've only seen the fake clouds. And then whatever real ones happen to still be speckled throughout the sky. If clouds were ever real in the first place. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But what I will say is that all of these things that they're doing to the earth, if that doesn't tell you that these things are not human, look. I don't know, man. There's just so much to look at that you really gotta, you really gotta find, I guess, a space you feel comfortable in researching and do that, because the sooner you realize what's been going on in this world, the better. And it may be a little scary when you first start learning about this stuff, but it's worth it. And ultimately, the knowledge that you gain is worth it, because you really do want to know. Wouldn't you rather know what's going on so that you can prepare yourself, or you can be aware? When you're aware and you're conscious of things, you make different moves, you know? If you're unaware and you're unconscious, then you're just out here, fucking out here. You're a lick. You're a duck. Do you want to be a lick, or do you want to, like, be able to be aware and conscious of what's happening so that you can move correctly? It's your choice. Ultimately, it's always your choice. You're the one who always has the choice. I feel like my screen is not dirty. Hang on for now. Don't mind me. I'm about to wipe this off real quick. Oh, here we go. Is that better? Way better. Holy crap. He be looking regal as fuck, huh? Okay, how's that? Boom, baby. All right. So, yeah. You always have a choice, though. You know, people will say, oh, I didn't have a choice. I had to X, Y, Z. Now, did I say the choice is always easy? No, I didn't fucking say that. And you're never going to hear me tell you that every choice is going to be fucking easy, because it's not always easy. No, it's not. Swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. Boom. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, brother. See, when I do that, then it looks like I'm like super close. Why is it like that? Oh. Snap. There we go. That's better, but okay. Yeah. I didn't say the choices were easy. They're not always easy. And sometimes the best choice is the most difficult choice. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to act like everything is just a cakewalk, you know? But we're going to come back through and perfect these, make them better so that they're more shapely. It's not always the easy choice. Like I said, most of the time, it's the most difficult choice. It's the one that you truly want to make. That's really actually best for you. You know? But it's only hard at first. It's only hard so you know what I'm saying? You get a little more comfortable till you... But that's just because it's new and it's different. It's a change. Everything that you do that's new and different, you have to go through a period of learning and a period of, like, you know, figuring shit out. You know? There's always going to be that, no matter what it is that you're doing. If you're doing something new and you're learning something, there's going to be a period where you are having to learn. You're having to do something you've never done before. And that's not always easy. That can be really difficult. That can be really difficult. It's going to stretch you. That's for sure. It's definitely going to force you to expand. So if you're not ready to expand, like if you just want to be stuck in wherever you're at, like, then yeah, I guess it's not really for you. But if you're ready to expand, you know, then you got to sometimes take those leaps and make the decisions that are uncomfortable. Make the decisions that are not easy. Step into the fucking fire. You see iron, you see steel. How does it get bent? How does it get changed? How does it get turned into something amazing? Some kind of cool contraption that you can utilize. It has to get hot. It has to be manipulated. It has to be transformed. You think that being inside that hot ass fire and coals is comfortable for the steel? I don't know. And I don't know if I've ever been steel before. But I am Iron Woman, female. Iron Woman, female Iron Woman. Iron Man. Fee is iron for those who don't. F-E on the periodic too. Just a little nerd humor. So yeah, you know, it's up to you. You got to make the choices in your life, but then you have to also be the one to live with those choices. So, you know, if you want to choose to take what seems like the easy route all the time, that shit catches up in different ways. You see what I'm saying? That shit catches up to you in different ways. That shit will catch up to you physically, energetically, in your body. That's where a lot of ailments in the body come from. Dis-ease comes from the body's having blocked energy, traumas, things that you refuse to express. Whether that be standing up for yourself, whether that be speaking up, whether that be expressing yourself in ways that, you know, like, for example, creatively expressing yourself or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you're blocking energies in your body and that is causing illness and dis-ease. It's energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. So if everything is energy and trauma's energy, and if you refuse to like feel the trauma and release it and allow yourself to process it and release it, then that means that you're holding it in. That means you're hanging on to that trauma. You're literally holding it in your body. So then where is it going to go? It's going to trap itself somewhere. It's going to trap somewhere. This is where a lot of stuff happens to people's bodies. End up with tumors, cancer, cysts. You know. People try to, oh, well, my family member had this, so it's genetic. My auntie had that, it's genetic. Well, maybe your auntie also never expressed herself. Maybe your auntie was also harboring trauma. Also, let's just say that even in science will say that even something that is genetic may or may not present itself. And whether it presents itself or not is greatly determined by lifestyle factors. So wouldn't healing your traumas be a really great lifestyle factor to incorporate into your life if you know that your family has a history of said thing, said disease, said ailment, said traumas? Usually the traumas are passed down, bro. You can't tell me that you haven't noticed that in abusive households, one of two things happen. Someone either becomes an abuser or becomes a victim for life. Not for life, until they choose to heal and see that they are worth more than that. But yeah, for a long fucking time, somebody can be a victim in this world and continue to be abused. Because they're also usually abusing themselves. You see what I'm saying? Just because they're not abusing other people doesn't mean they're not still abusing, because they typically abuse themselves. It's self-sabotage, self-abuse. So, you know. So we gotta heal that shit. If your auntie had some kind of cancers or something of the liver, something like that, and she drank like a fucking fish, and you're out every weekend at the bars drinking, and you end up with the same thing, I'm gonna hand you 2 and 2, and I'm gonna let you put them together. Okay? Come on now. It doesn't really take a rocket fucking scientist. And you may actually be a rocket scientist and don't even know it. Yeah, shit. Shit. Wasting your time at the fucking bars all weekend. Harming the fucking energy that you borrowed from Mama Gaia to be on this earth, man. What? Stop that shit. And you know what? You will when you're ready, but shit. Take some self-analyzation, man. I'm not saying self-analyzation is fun, okay? But it's useful. It's effective. It's beneficial. It's healing as fuck. It's one of the most powerful tools you have is self-analysis, self-actualization. You see, we're as humans so quick to like judge and berate and review everybody else. We want to tell everybody else about themselves. Well, go look at yourself. I know I sure the fuck look at mine. And I think, you know what? If you'll be honest with yourself, you will find that sometimes you're the problem. And that's not to say that, like, you did something terrible and that's what makes you the problem. No, it's more to say that sometimes you allow too much bullshit in your life. You allow yourself to do too much bullshit. And when I speak to you, I speak to my motherfucking self because I've done the same thing. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me too. But self-analyzation, that shit right there, that's a nice thing to have in your toolbox. That'll help you heal yourself a lot if you can look at yourself and say, why do I feel like this? So, I don't know. I would say you don't have to be ready to necessarily heal yourself, though, to see what's really going on in this world. What's really happening. Although it would help, it's not necessary to see the truth. You see the truth more and more when you start healing, but it's not necessary to begin to see the truth. All that's necessary for you to begin to see the truth is an open mind and a willingness to learn. And also a willingness to change, because you're gonna change. Because everything that you fucking know as truth is gonna change. Everything that you know as truth is gonna change. Immensely. I just saw this guy posting on, I don't know, maybe it was Instagram. I don't know. I only use Facebook and sort of Instagram. I deleted my TikTok, so I don't even have that anymore. But he was talking about like the music industry and the movie industry and like the entertainment industry, and just like how they've been, there's subliminal messaging and all that and da 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 da. And I thought he was like just, teaching people, but I realized that listening to him that he had just awakened to this, and I was kind of shocked because I thought everybody knew this, but then I realized everybody doesn't know this. So like, I'm like, geez, I guess I should probably talk about some of that kind of stuff, because like when you realize what's really going on here, like it's going to change the way that you move in this world. And I think it's important. And I think that some of you need a perspective shift, and that it's time that you start moving a little different in this world. So, watch some of the crazy shit that I post, Watch some of the videos. Even if you think it's crazy, that's okay. That's all right. You got to start somewhere. But I promise you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And And there's no going back from that. So if you're scared, I guess just keep going to church. But if you're ready, the information is out there. And I feel like if you see what's really going on, it may make things make a little more sense to you. Like, because why would anyone want to harm the earth if they were nature? Because humans are nature. We get this body, we borrow this body from Mama Gaia. These bodies that come from the dirt, bro. Every one of us is a different shade of dirt color. From the palest sands to the deepest, darkest soils. Everyone is a color of dirt. So it's like, you know, we borrow this from the earth. That means that anything on this earth needs whatever this earth would normally have, right? Like we need the sun, we need the moon, we need the plants, we need the animals, we need the bugs. That's all part of nature. It all works together symbiotically, intricately designed. It's not by accident. There's nothing accidental done in nature. How something's designed. Some people say that the moon isn't innate to the, or like, you know, original. That I don't know. I guess I haven't heard anything about that personally, but I've never asked, so maybe I can ask and find out. But what I will say is that this isn't dark enough. We definitely all need the natural stuff on Earth here. And if you're from Earth, or your body is from Earth, then you're going to need the natural stuff too. So if there's some kind of entities that are destroying everything natural and everything of the Earth, do you think that they are natural and of the Earth? Really, truly. Honestly, be for real. Just be honest with yourself. Honestly, be honest with yourself. Be honest. Be honest. This is some thick ass. Oh, shit. That may have been too much, and I think I ruined the rest of this. Get that little glop off of there. Okay. Every system that they have put into place has been to harm humanity. Harm humans. They have put so many systems in place just to harm humans. Like, it's a hobby. See what I'm saying? Like, it's a pastime. It's fun. That shit's sick. They can't be human. Humans don't like that shit. Humans don't like to harm other humans. What the fuck? Humans will defend themselves. But to like just go out of your way to harm someone, that's some non-human behavior. That's not of source. That's not of source. Source is love. So that means anything that's of source is gonna be love. Does that mean that that thing never defends itself or never says something you don't like? No, that's not what it means. It seems to be a common misconception with some humans, or I don't know, entities that still are plugged into the matrix, maybe because they're, oh, you're love and light, but you swear, you say these things, or you're being so mean. Yeah, well, we also all play our own roles, and sometimes I'm supposed to trigger people. It's not like, sometimes I don't even try. I'm just literally just existing, and that's triggersome. For some people, just my actual existence is triggersome. That person definitely needs some help then. But there are, for whatever reason, energies that just don't coincide, that just don't fuck with one another. You know what I'm saying? It's like putting two magnets that are the same side, and they just fucking deflect each other type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah. Just be mindful, you know, just, if you're going to do anything, pay some attention. They really, really, really do well with the distractions. Distracting is one of their, like, greatest techniques next to divide and conquer. But distraction and divide and conquer kind of go hand in hand, because they can use them together. They can use a distraction to also divide people. It's crazy. And they do it a lot. They do it a lot. They just did it with JC. They just did it with JC. They made this huge distraction. And people were all in an uproar. That's not him. Oh, he just had plastic surgery, even though he doesn't look any younger. He got plastic surgery to look completely different, but not younger. Get the fuck out of here. Be for fucking real. But it was a distraction. And they were able to get people to be arguing back and forth, which they're going to utilize that energy as well. They distracted you. They got you to divide yourselves from one another. And they got you to argue, so they got that energy. Bam. Come on. When you see it, you can't unsee it, friend. It's one of those things, man. And I know you can see it. I know you can see it. And I know there's times where you like question if you're seeing what you think you're seeing. Or if that something, sometimes they just don't really make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't really add up. That's your gut. That's your intuition speaking to you. Listen. Listen to it. Don't be scared, man. There's people out here like myself who already been down all these damn rabbit holes, and we're here to catch you. We're here to help you. We got a I just woke up care package for you. You know? You don't have to do this shit alone. And you don't have to just constantly wonder. You don't have to continue to live in you know, fear or under control of things that give zero fucks about you. Really, really great proof of how much they control people, bro. Just recently there was an ad that came out from a certain popular fast food chain, and one of their higher ups ate something, well, pretended to eat something, right? There was this crazy instant uproar. Everybody's attention is being drawn into a certain place. We call that an energy harvest, because they are getting everyone's attention focused onto one thing, right? But here's how slick they are. Even though that was bad publicity, right? Because Buddy Ass clearly did not eat the thing. So people were like in an uproar about it, right? Laughing at whatever, talking shit. They had the people divided again because, you know, some people don't give a fuck. But they took that and they like turned it into profit for themselves. They legitimately made, in the same day where all this is going on, the same day they created a Facebook post that was like promoting it and like making a joke out of it, making light of it, laughing at it. You see what I'm saying? Because no matter what, they know how to manipulate the masses' energy for their benefit. But you don't have to keep giving them your energy. You can choose to take it back. You can choose to take it back. Girl, yes. They're getting long now, too. They're getting long. They're not quite as long as yours yet, but got some years on me, girl. So, yeah, guys, just take your attention back and be mindful what you're giving your energy to. Because that's the thing, is once you know what you're giving your energy to, you know, then it's a choice, you know what I'm saying? But if you're just out here unaware, unconsciously giving this energy to these outside forces that use it to, you know, they use it for harmful things, man. They use our own energies to like harm us. It's insane. It's literally insane. Insane. If you only knew. And it's every single one of these characters out here. They're all characters. Like, all of them, all the celebrities, characters. This is like a giant movie set, you know? All the world is a stage. I remember hearing that all the time when I was a kid, and I was like, heck yeah. Because I'm an actress myself by trade. And I used to be like, it is. All the world is a stage. And I used to think of it more as a terms of me, an artist. You know? Acting. Always. Like, always in character. Always being a character. You know? And so I never had looked at it like that until I knew the things that I know now. And then it was like, oh, that was a little deeper than what I was going with it at the time, you know? It's a little deeper than what I was going with it at the time. But once you know, you know. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And you will see it everywhere, in everything. You know how, like, you remember when we were kids? I mean, maybe some people still indulge, but when I was younger, I remember watching like WWF wrestling, right? And I used to always think like, what the heck? This is so fake, right? You know, like even as a kid, I knew it wasn't real. I could just tell. And I used to get in like knockdown, drag out arguments with people about the validity of WWF, whether it was real wrestling or whether it was fake and staged. Right now, to this day, there are grown adults who will argue with you that WWE, WWF, whatever other WWs exist, are actually real. They're really wrestling. They really have people fooled with that. They really have people fooled with that. But the thing about it is it goes far beyond WWE and WWF. It's all of it. It's everything. The movies are right here on your streets every day, on your TV every day. The news. You seen Anchorman 2? They don't have a story, they'll make one. And even when they do have a story, they fake that shit too. They amp it more than it is. They make it more than it is. It's bullshit. It's so that they can manipulate the narrative, manipulate the energy that's out here, how people think, what they think, where they go, what they consume, how they feel, how they treat one another. So they can make you think that a person who looks like this or looks like that or looks like this or believes in this or eats that is a horrible person. Because you can divide yourself from them because you're not that person. You don't eat that way. You don't look like that. You're not from here. So somehow you're better than them. They just want you to divide yourselves from each other so they can continue to manipulate your thought process. Continue to manipulate what you believe about yourself and others. What you believe is real and not real in this world. Everything is scripted. Everything is fake. You think that our so-called government is here to just govern us and help us out like some good guys? Make sure that we all get along, all right? We all get whatever we make sure everything is safe and fair. Come on. If you believe that, I've got some gorgeous oceanfront property right here in the great state of Minnesota I'd love to show you. but it's not the case, though. Instead, it's fake. And it's all designed to keep you inside the illusion. Because as long as you stay inside the illusion, you can be controlled. You can be manipulated. You can be bought in some way, shape, or form. As long as they can keep you still believing what they need you to believe. As long as they can at least hold you in just a little bit. Even if you just believe this is real. Like, even if you just believe elections are real, they still got you. They've still got a hold of you if you believe you really vote in the president. And if you believe that the president has power, yeah, they've got you. And I know what it sounds like to the average person, because the average person is still asleep. The average person is still, even if they don't think they are, they're still believing something like that. They're not paying attention. They're still part of the matrix. They're still part of the system. They are clearly puppets on strings. They do not have any power here. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They want you to be as distracted and pay attention to this, worry about this, focus on that. Then you don't have any time to think of anything else. Like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that a handful of people own the majority of the wealth in the world? Like, more than the whole world combined? More than all of our wealths combined? Because honestly, humans are not built that way. Humans are not designed that way. We are innately love because we are source. And source is love. Don't confuse love with being a fucking little pussy, okay? There seems to be a confusion there. Like, if you're light, oh, you talk like light and love, but look at you. Yeah. Light and love does not mean that you get to push somebody around. Or that they're just going to be a fucking pushover. That is not what light and love means. That is not what somebody who is positive means. That is not what somebody who believes in unity means. It doesn't mean that you just get to push people around, or that they're just going to be dumb to whatever, or no, get that out of your head, man. Get that out of your fucking head. That's not how it works. This thing looks so interesting. The shape of it is super off. Y'all gotta fix that one. It's gonna bother me. Let me fix that one. Nah. We're not all here for the same thing, you know what I mean? And I know that sometimes I piss people off with the things that I post or the comments that I make back to them. Or, you know, I've even had people who have been my friends on Facebook for a long time just unfriend me randomly. They don't even speak to me about whatever. They just unfriend me. I've even found out the reason why people have unfriended me is because they thought that I didn't support whatever it is that they're doing because they're because of how I speak to them or something like that. Well, sometimes what I'm saying might be triggering, and that's what I'm supposed to do. So if what I said triggered you, instead of blaming me because you're triggered, how about you seek within yourself why the fuck you allow that to trigger you? Why does it trigger you? Because if you feel triggered by something, it's not because I said it or that it's because it was said. It's because it touched a wound on you, something that is a trauma that you have refused to face within yourself. And I brought it to the surface for you. When I said whatever I said or did whatever I did and you felt triggered by that, it's because you have something inside of you that you still need to face. That's not my fault. Also, how you perceive my words is not necessarily how they're intended. So I could say something the kindest way, or I could say something like joking, or I could say something to you in a manner that was not meant to be taken disrespectfully, and you could still feel disrespected. Because how you perceive something is not necessarily how it was intended or how it was said. Somebody's perception of something is solely based on their own energy, how they feel about themselves, the traumas they have still not faced within their life, so they're still affecting them. It has everything to do with internal and nothing to do with external. I say nothing, but sometimes people are just outright fucking mean and rude. But like, that's something totally different. That's not what we're talking about here. It's so much better. Y'all, that shape was so wonky. I was like, it's already a little too close to some other things. But so I encourage you, and I hope you feel inspired to seek within yourself when someone or something triggers you. That's the stuff I was talking about earlier about self-analyzation, like trust and believe. I'm speaking to you from experience. I myself, still to this day, if I find something that triggers me, I'm like, why did that just piss me off so bad? Why did that just irritate me? Why did I just get out of my body for that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, it's imperative. Now, you don't have to do it because you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's a huge part of growth. It's a huge part of growth. It's a huge part of healing. And we all need that shit. Everybody has to heal from something in their life, whether it's your childhood, whether it's some shit that happened to you as an adult, a teenager, whether it's some trauma you brought with you from a fucking past life that you have not taken care of yet. Well, we come with that. It's like we come into this adult life with at least one little piece of trauma to heal. But good luck if you only have one. Who made you the favorite? Oh shit. 'Cause what? Never met somebody in my life that had like, I've met people who have healed, but I've never met somebody in my life that had never went through life without having any form of trauma. Like, I just haven't. And I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. I'm just saying it doesn't exist. You know? Ooh, I'm going to go pink. I want some pink. We need to bring some pink back up in here. We started getting real dark. Real dark on the colors, huh? I'm going to do pink. But I want to do a different pink. What do I want to do? I think I'm just going to... Can I make it a little bit brighter, maybe? Some white. Oh, that was a lot of white. Y'all, I'm so curious to see because I added glow in the dark paint to this green. And I'm real curious to see if it actually works. Yeah, man. I'm telling you what, though. That's one of the craziest things, too, about... I mean, it depends on what era you grew up in. If you grew up... If you grew up before like this current generation, there is a great chance that you grew up in an era where, you know, seeking therapy is taboo because only crazy people do that who need to go to an asylum. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that we faced and generations before us, like our parents and grandparents faced, that would make people not want to heal or think that healing is bad or call it taboo or like just refuse to do it or actually not even think it's on the table. Like, it's not even an option. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too far off to think that there's people out here who don't go get therapy because of whatever stigma has been put on it, you know, either by their own family members or just society in general, because it really did used to be such a huge stigma associated with healing therapy, with therapy in general. Like, people, healing, what is healing? People didn't think that you heal. People think that you go to therapy because you have something wrong with you, and then the doctor's supposed to like fix you, right? But that's not what therapy is, y'all. Therapy isn't like you go to some doctor and the doctor just fixes you. Like, you're not, there's, first of all, there's nothing wrong with you to be fixed, okay? Second of all, when you go to therapy, the therapist is just there as an observer. The therapist is there as somebody who has knowledge, somebody who can give you a skill set that you did not get as a child. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could help you unpack the things that you are analyzing in yourself. They can't do the work for you, though. They can't just fix you, quote unquote. You got to do the work. You got to put in the effort. You got to be the one to do the healing. You got to be the one to do the healing. You know, you got to be the one to do the inner work, the shadow work, the one to literally unpack all the crap, all the stuff. Yesterday I was talking about how, like, you can time travel. You know, you may not learn that from a therapist, but depends on the therapist, though, because some of them are on that what would be considered to be woo-woo shit, I guess. I guess I would definitely probably fall in the woo-woo category. I'm very, very much out there thinker and being. I'm an out there being, y'all. And so, therapy, though, like, having somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody to talk to about things when you don't really understand, or to really kind of be like, hey, I noticed that I get really irritated about this, or I noticed that this happens and then I this, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I always angry? Why am I always sad? Whatever the case may be, everybody has their own shit. But a therapist can help you to go through that shit, to analyze that shit, to figure out where it goes. Because it's not supposed to just stay there forever. At some point, it's got to go somewhere else. You can't just hold on to that forever. You gotta learn to let certain things go, everything go. And so therapists are somebody that can help you with that. And if you've had something specific, like a specific trauma that is been really impactful on you, that would be something that I would say go find someone who specializes in that specific trauma. If you faced a lot of abuse as a child, or if you faced sexual traumas, things of that nature, go find somebody who specializes in that shit. Because that person is going to be able to give you all the tools that you need to move forward. And that's the whole point. Moving forward so that you can unlock and remember who you are and be the best version of yourself. Be who you came here to be. You see what I'm saying? Allow that trauma to work for you instead of work on you. You know? We get kind of like stuck in this loop. We get stuck. And then what happens? Then what happens is that people don't really try to change too much because they get so complacent and used to feeling a certain way that they expect it. Well, if you're sick and tired of having shitty relationships with humans in your life, or feeling like you're you don't have any control in your life, or feeling like shit just seems to be repeating itself, like you're meeting the same person in a different face all the time, all that shit's trauma. You seem like, if it feels like you are always fighting with people, you can't take accountability for anything. You know, if you can't take accountability for anything, you know, if you blame everybody else for every fucking thing, you know if you blame everybody else for everything. I don't need to tell you that. But I will tell you that healing can fix that. Healing can fix that. Healing can definitely fix that. But it's going to take some accountability. It's going to take a little bit of work. Well, it's going to take a lot of work. But you're worth that work. Don't you think? You might not. You might actually not think you're worth it right now. But I do. I know you're worth it. I don't think it. I know it. I know it, and if you give yourself just a little bit of time to prove it, you'll see it too. Just a little bit of time. Try. Because what could go right? What's the best thing that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen? You could heal and be happy in your life. Oh no. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Imagine a world where nobody had to suffer from their traumas anymore. Could you imagine how beautiful and peaceful that would be? Now imagine if you were a group of entities that fed on people's sorrows and sadness, that fed on turmoil and trauma and pain. What lengths would you go to make sure that people stayed in that as long as possible? What lengths would you go to? Would you want those people to heal? Would you want them to wake up to the fact that they're being programmed? Would you want them to see that their food is poison and keeping them in a low vibrational state? Would you want them to know that the programming that they love to watch on TV is actually harming them and their children? Of course you wouldn't want them to know that. So, how do you think that you can take your power back? How do you think you can take your power back? Exactly. Exactly. Start by taking your power back, right? Within yourself. Because right now, your thoughts are hijacked by trauma. Your thoughts are being hijacked. Because they're being hijacked by trauma, then you also allow yourself to be hijacked by other things. When you're hijacked by trauma, you're also allowing yourself to be hijacked by other things, by other circumstances, by other entities, by other things that seek to control you. A lot of times, because people would not think that they deserve better, or that there isn't better for them, or for someone like them, better doesn't exist. Like that they don't deserve better. Ooh, that is dangerous thoughts, friend. That's a dangerous thought pattern, friend. It's super dangerous. For them, it's great, because as long as they can keep you there, they can continue to utilize that energy. And then it's easier to get people into states that they want them in, like fear or excitement or anger or whatever else they want people to do. Because if they can get you to allow them to hijack, if you will stay in those low vibrational states, it's much easier for them to hijack your nervous system. It's much easier for them to hijack your consciousness, because you're not conscious. Even if you're like awake, as in you're not on a pillow right now. That doesn't mean that you're not fast asleep, though. Please believe. There are plenty of people who are physically awake, but fast asleep. But you don't have to look like that, because we're healing around these motherfucking parts. We're healing around here, baby. And how you perceive the world is greatly going to be determined upon how you feel about yourself. If you give 0 fucks about yourself, why would you have any reason to give a fuck about anything or anyone else in this world? You know? Why? Why would you give any fucks about anything in this world if you don't even give a fuck about yourself? How can you? How can you honestly, truly care about something else if you don't even care about you? If you don't even care about the body that you're carrying, that's carrying you around. If you don't even care about the mind that's allowing you to process and view the world in a different way. How can you possibly give a flying fuck about anybody else? You can't, darling. The answer is you bloody fucking can't, okay? You can't. You can, but only to a certain extent. You can only meet others as deeply as you've met yourself. So. And if you refuse to look at yourself, if you refuse to analyze what has been affecting you for all this time, you know, man, don't be a lick, man. Don't do that. Don't be a lick. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And if you don't want to stand for anything in this life, at least stand up for your motherfucking self. And you don't have to go to therapy to heal. So there's plenty of other ways. There's great thinkers out there in the world who make amazing content or have in the past. And you can do it all without a therapist. Just do it. You don't need a therapist. A therapist is just somebody that can help give you skills that you may not have, or help you to see things in a different perspective. Like, for example, I'm going to give you a little example, because I went to therapy for 6 years. And in that 6 years, I remember one time I told my therapist that I was so lazy. I was like, I don't know what is going on. I just been so lazy lately. Like, I just want to sit around and I just don't want to do anything. Like, I've just been like sleeping. I used to be the kind of person that I would sleep like 3 hours a day and just constantly be running, you know? Constantly doing, constantly on the go, constantly hustling, constantly chasing after this and doing that, blah, 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 blah. But I was living in fucking survival mode. I was living in trauma mode. I wasn't a healed person having a normal, healthy human experience. I was somebody that was out here reckless and a danger to my damn self because I was not healed. I wasn't mindful of the fact that my body needed to rest sometimes. I was in fight or flight. Yeah, basically survival mode, fight or flight. Constantly. And that is due to unhealed traumas. So what she said to me, because this was, now mind you, this was like we had been seeing each other for, gosh, I don't know, I want to say a few years at this point. And she said, what if you're not lazy? What if this is the first time that you ever felt safe and you can finally breathe again? And of course I broke down in tears, girl. Girl, I bawled. I had never thought about it that way. Because I was conditioned to believe that I constantly had to chase after things, that I constantly had to go out and get it. I had to constantly be doing stuff. And that couldn't be further from the fucking truth. I was living in like constant go mode. Sidetracking and bypassing my entire, like, what my body was really needing, which was to heal. And once I had gotten some healing under my belt, my body was like, whoo, finally. I'm gonna tell you what, I've been in rest mode ever since. And it has been extremely healing for me. I do not run myself ragged anymore. I will not. I will not. If I'm tired at 8 o'clock, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. And I go to bed at 8 o'clock a lot. Because once you start getting out of that rat race, your body starts linking back up with the circadian rhythm. And when you link back up with the circadian rhythm, you get back in tune with the fact that you are nature. So you start syncing up with how nature works. When the sun is coming up, you're ready to awaken. I wake up before the sun most of the time. When you're hungry, it's usually lunchtime, you know? Once you get out of the idea that you have to constantly be eating, that comes with healing, though, and then starting to analyze self more, though. But you will definitely see a difference how you start to link up with nature when you start to let go of all the shit that they want to keep you trapped with. They would love for you to constantly be stuck in the rat race. Stay in the rat race as long as possible. That's what they would say. How are you going to have enough money to have to retire if you don't stay working until you're 76? You know? They will keep you in the rat race as long as they possibly can. But when you heal and you start to see things for what they really are, you will start to see things differently. You will start to realize how precious you are, how precious your energy really is. And how maybe you got to give it to somebody right now. You know what I'm saying? Till you can get out or whatever and do something different with yourself. But like, make an exit plan. You feel me? You're going to want to make an exit plan. You're going to want to make an exit plan. Because that ain't it. That's not fucking life. That shit is living in survival mode. Constantly in go. Constantly in rat race mode. That's not what humans are here for. We're here to love and explore and enjoy and experience. Not to toil away for somebody else's dreams. What did you used to love to do when you were a kid? Probably going to ask you that a lot, so I hope you analyze it. Start to notice things that trigger you. And allow that trigger to heal you. Allow that trigger to push you into wanting to be, to figuring out like why. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a reason why it triggers you. And so 10 times out of 10 is what I'm hearing. 10 times out of 10, it's trauma related. 10 times out of 10 is hilarious. All right. How funny is it? Because for real, 10 times out of 10, it's trauma related. Which means, though, there's a good thing about that. That means that you can heal it. That means that you can go in and analyze it and see if it still fits. Is this something you want to hold on to? Does it still fit? Is it still yours? And maybe it is. That's okay. You can't just let everything go at one time. You ever seen somebody, two kids on a teeter-totter? And like one kid is bigger than the other kid, right? And the big kid just gets off fast as hell. The other little kid, he's just going to go flying, right? But if the bigger kid gets off slower and takes his time, you know what I'm saying? Like gets off at a comfortable rate, not something just like jumping off, then the other kid won't get slammed into the ground. The other kid will be fine. It'll be a slower process. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a little gentler. So I say that to say, like, you can't just dump everything off of you at one time. It's not going to work that way. It doesn't happen that way. It's not even really like something that you can do, because you find out more about yourself as you go. You learn and grow as you go. So I would suggest that you take the thing that is most impactful in your life, the thing that has had the most impact on you, the thing that you think holds you back, I would say go to that first. That's going to be the first thing that you want to approach, because that's the thing that is probably the most deeply rooted or the most traumatizing. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be the one that might be the most difficult to work through. So tackle that thing. Get on it. And go do some research, man. Drop down some rabbit holes and see what's really going on in this world. Because once you're aware of it, they can no longer trick you. It's not humans versus humans. That was part of their division tactics. No, this is humans versus non-humans. Oh, yeah, man. Have a fabulous day. Peace.